A lot of things going on in the news. Let me start with the House Republicans are not done with Hillary Clinton. And they're not done with Hillary Clinton. They're probably not done with Benghazi, to be, let's just be 100% transparent about the House Republicans. They are obsessed with getting Hillary Clinton. Now, I'll get into the substance of it. We can go back and forth about it, but I have to preface it by saying the Republican Party and the House Republicans are so obsessed with getting Hillary Clinton. They have focused on her so hard over the last, since 2012. And they've gone so far with this Benghazi scandal that when they actually have something that is pretty clear cut, who's going to take them seriously? Because today they are floating the idea that they're going to be pursuing perjury charges against Hillary Clinton because of her testimony before Congress being untruthful. They have requested documentation from the FBI director Comey, all of his documents to support his conclusions, which directly, and you could judge for yourself, but if you watch it, I don't think anyone who is sober and reasonable can look at her statements juxtaposed next to his conclusions and believe that she was at a minimum not being forthcoming and truthful. But most other people will look at it and say she was just outright lying. So I'm going to play the clip. This is a video, and there's a lot of, the music in the background is ridiculous, but I want you to listen in to Hillary Clinton and her statements before Congress juxtaposed next to Director Comey and his actual findings. So listen in.
There was nothing marked classified on my emails, either sent or received. Nothing was marked classified at the time I sent or received it.
I think it's also important to say something about the marking of classified information. Only a very small number of the emails here containing classified information bore markings that indicated the presence of classified information. But even if information is not marked classified in an email, participants who know or should know that the subject matter is classified are still obligated to protect it.
But I'm asking how it was done. Did someone physically look at the 62,000 emails, or did you use search terms, date parameters? I want to know the specifics.
They did all of that. They also went through every single email.
Lawyers doing the sorting for Secretary Clinton in 2014 did not individually read the content of all of her emails as we did for those available to us. Instead, they relied on header information, and they used search terms to try to find all work-related emails among the reportedly more than 60,000 that were remaining on her system at the end of 2014.
Okay.
It's highly likely that their search missed some work-related emails and that we later found them, for example, in the mailboxes of other officials or in the Slack space of a server.
There were two servers?
No, there was a server.
Just one? And so there's only one server, is that what you're telling me? And it's the one server that the FBI has?
The FBI has the server that was used during the tenure of my State Department service.
Secretary Clinton used several different servers and administrators of those servers during her 4 years at the State Department.
She has a way with words.
And she also used numerous mobile devices to send and to read email on that personal domain. As new servers and equipment were employed, older servers were taken out of service, stored, and decommissioned in various ways.
I provided the department, which has been providing you, with all of my work-related emails, all that I had.
The FBI also discovered several thousand work-related emails that were not among the group of 30,000 emails returned by Secretary Clinton
The music
to state
is ridiculous.
in 2014. It's also likely that there are other work-related emails that they did not produce to state and that we did not find elsewhere and that are now gone.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming, and I couldn't stop it fast enough. All right. So Hillary Clinton has a way with words. And the reason I'm saying that is the same reason that as you and I look at this, and I think I want to find the Hillary Clinton supporter who is going to say that she just wasn't lying, or they won't even concede that she was being untruthful, right? Because no one likes to say lie anymore, right? People in media don't say that word. But I want to find the person who believes that she was being 100% honest here, because I don't think it's possible for you to look at this side by side and conclude that Hillary Clinton was being anything but deceitful at this point. But even though you and I can look at this and listen to this and say, okay, Hillary Clinton should probably get charged with perjury, as I listened to it again for the third or fourth time, I realized that Hillary Clinton has such a way of avoiding answering questions in this exchange that they probably can't get her for perjury. I honestly think that at this point, listening to it again, they probably cannot get her for perjury. So anyway, these are taken from Hillary's testimony back in October to the House Select Committee on Benghazi. Right. So the hearing was about Benghazi, but it filtered over into the emails. And the claims that this video make are fourfold. Right. So first, Clinton claimed that none of the info she sent over her personal email was classified. And we saw that Director Comey came out and directly and said that at least 3 emails on her machine contained some classified markings, although they were incomplete and apparently done in error. So there's your direct contradiction, right? Your direct misstatement or your direct lie. So the Republican Party, they want to, follow through and get charges pressed against her for perjury for that contention. Here's the one that caught my attention. Clinton claimed that all the emails she turned over were gone through individually, and that she didn't use the search terms, or they used the search terms. In actuality, they did. Sorry, this is not the one. That's the next one. But they did use search terms, and they did not go through these emails directly. So that's that's not true. She made a statement before Congress that was untrue. Then she said that she had turned over all of her work-related emails. That turned out not to be true. And here's the one that she said she only used one server during her tenure as Secretary of State. Now, in that exchange, and I wish I could cue up just that moment, but it's so long, I don't know that I can actually hit that one moment. But in that exchange, here it is. And boom, not too bad. Listen to this. Listen to this exchange. He's going to ask her if you'd used more than one server. And he's going to follow up and ask her again. And I want you to listen closely to what Hillary Clinton says here.
There were 2 servers?
No, there was a server.
Just one? And so there's only one server? Is that what you're telling me? And it's the one server that the FBI has?
The FBI has the server that was used during the tenure of my State Department service.
Secretary right there. Clinton, that's it. You see how she masterfully just dodged that question, and that was pretty much the end of it. So the problem is for them to actually be able to prove perjury, the questions, she has to have directly lied on a particular question that they asked. She avoided the question masterfully so. He said, did you use more than one server? And he followed up, did you use more than one server? And she said, the FBI has the server that we used. That was essentially her answer. So the real question is, the reason I'm bringing up that detail, that minutia, is because the question is whether or not they would be able to find her guilty of perjury. And the chances are no. Even though you and I can look at this at face value and say, damn, she lied. The reality of it is that they're probably not going to be able to find her guilty of perjury, mainly because, as we can see in that exchange, the congressman was not prepared to corner her and to get a solid answer, or to get her to say something that was actually untruthful instead of just deflecting. Now, this is just that one question, right? We can talk about the search terms, and she did, that was untrue. And the other statement in terms of that she never said anything that was classified over email, that was untrue. But in this one example where she said that she only used one server and not 2, and it turned out that she did actually use 2. She masterfully dodged that. And I don't know if they're going to be able to get her. Here's the other reason I don't know if they're going to even press charges in this case, right? Because whether they found her guilty or not, that's kind of irrelevant for the presidential election. If they've actually indicted her on perjury, you know, it's different than indicting her on, you know, using classified or releasing classified information. I don't think it's as damning. I think she may be able to survive that politically, but chances are she may not. Right. So just the indictment alone would be damning for her presidential aspirations. But, you know, this ultimately falls back into the hands of Loretta Lynch and the DOJ and whether or not they're going to press charges or indict her, rather, for perjury. So here's a quote from a professor, University of Colorado law professor, in an interview with Vice. He said, "You have to show beyond a reasonable doubt that this person knew that what they were saying was false. And prosecutors not only have to demonstrate that someone intended to tell a lie, but also that the lie was pertinent to the matter at hand." So there's like two big gaping ways for the DOJ to say that there's no reasonable prosecutor who will bring charges in this case. Because was it substantive? Were each of them substantive and pertinent to the issue at hand? Number one. And then two, was it intentional and willful? So again, at face value, it looks like, hell yeah, she lied, but it's never really that simple. Matter of fact, in the last 60 years, there have only been 6 cases of perjury that have actually, the people have been found guilty on, right? There have been charges, but in terms of, and indictments, but in terms of someone being found guilty for perjury before Congress, there's only been 6 in the last 60 years. So the odds are forever in Hillary Clinton's favor. One more quote here. So Clinton undeniably made false, or at least this is a quote from a Vice article on it. Clinton undeniably made false or at least misleading statements about her emails in front of that Benghazi panel, as well as in the public. But while it may enrage conservatives, her obfuscations in front of Congress most certainly won't result in charges being brought. Because, as observed in 2007, lying to Congress has become accepted. So there's the other hurdle, right? There's regular lying in front of in testimony before Congress. I don't think that that's obviously not a reason to not bring charges against her, right? But there's just so many other ways that she's going to be able to escape this. So I feel like in a lot of ways, the Republican Party has squandered any goodwill. There is zero, non-existent goodwill for an investigation from the Republican Party because they used all the last few years on asinine investigations. Right. And now they actually have something with some teeth in it because at face value, she lied. But one, did they do their job good enough and ask her the questions clear enough to corner her, to get her to actually admit a lie that was substantive and pertinent to the issue at hand? I already showed you an example in this video that they are promoting as their crown jewel of evidence. I already showed you one example where he tried to hammer her and she just found her way right out of it. So 1 out of the 4 that they've demonstrated is already a done deal. That one about the double servers will not be the issue that they found her, that they decide to indict her on for perjury. So anyway, nevertheless, it still requires the FBI to deliver the documents. The Oversight Committee, chaired by Representative Jason Chaffetz, had asked the FBI for the complete investigative file from his review of Clinton's use of a private email server. The FBI also provided documents from its investigations to the House Judiciary Committee, according to aides. So the information is over to the House, and let's see what, if anything, they're going to do with it. But ultimately, the question is, what is the Department of Justice going to do about it? My bet is nothing. My bet is that this is going to work out for Hillary Clinton.